You're listening to Building the Dream, a show that inspires people to explore business, entrepreneurship, and professional development. I'm Matt Lambert.
And I'm Alex Kazitsa, and we're sitting down with business professionals and entrepreneurs to talk about their journeys, the lessons they've learned, and how they're building their dream. Hey guys, Matt and Alex with Building the Dream Duluth. Today we're here at Imperium Chiropractic Clinic. We're here with Robyn and Dr. Zimmer. They're going to tell you who they are and a little bit about Imperium Chiropractic.
Hey everybody, I'm Robyn Tozer, the clinic director at Imperium Chiropractic. I'm also one of the owners. My husband is the other owner. We are at our newest location in Superior in the Central Flats building. And we're just excited to chat and get to know everybody and talk a little bit about our business.
And I'm Dr. William, Dr. Zimmer. I am the newest addition to Imperium Chiropractic. I have known Robyn and Dr. Tozer for quite a few years, and this has been a fun adventure to continue growing our relationship into a professional setting. So.
Yep, and you're kind of at the helm of Imperium here. You're the main chiropractor. So.
Yes, I'm the face of this clinic.
Exactly.
Poster child.
So, Dr. Zimmer, what made you decide to get into chiropractics?
Yeah, so like I said, I've known Robyn and Dr. Tozer for a while. So I actually started going to the chiropractor when I was 8 years old. I was in a car accident, and my parents decided to take me in just because I was having some aches and pains. And since I got treated by Dr. Tozer for that, and since then I've been treating with him on and off throughout my entire remainder of that time until today. Yep. And so then when I was 16, I decided I wanted to look a little closer and see what Dr. Tozer did on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to job shadow him, and I spent half a day, full day, I don't remember. Not important, but I fell in love with the holistic approach to chiropractic and the way that he interacts with patients and just the joy that patients feel when they come in and leave and just have a good experience with the people and feeling better and just knowing that they're being their healthiest selves, which is awesome.
Yeah.
There's something to say about that immediate result of, I had this pain, I'm walking out pain-free. That's pretty powerful for people.
Yeah. Wonderful experience to just witness and now be able to perform on patients, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And Robyn, how did you and your husband get into this business?
My husband started first, so he started in 1996, and I came along after the fact. Previously, I had no experience in chiropractic other than being a patient, and also at that time he was new in practice when I met him. And so he was learning, going to seminars, and if I wanted to spend time with him, I either went with or we didn't spend time together. So I started sitting in all these seminars and I'm like, this is cool. I like this. I get this. And gradually just started working my way into the business, not by choice. It was like staff would be off on a Saturday, so I would come fill in. Mm-hmm. And then it just grew into something more. So. Yeah. It's been great. Yep. It's been great.
And so you recently decided to expand and grow this area. How did you decide to open another practice, and what made you choose this location?
Yeah, why Superior?
Well, we'll try to keep this story short so we don't bore everybody.
It was me.
It was actually a multitude of things. So my husband and I had worked for a large chiropractic group for several years, and that company had dissolved, and we had the option to buy out our clinic. So we went about doing that. We had a plan of what we wanted to do to expand and grow more clinics. And our goal was to be able to help young doctors who were coming into the profession, because understanding the business side of chiropractic or healthcare or any business in general is challenging for most people. So that was our goal. We have an office in Ladysmith. We acquired one in Eau Claire. And then we were working through the nuances of going from 1 to 2. And then Dr. Zimmer contacted us and said, hey, I'm getting ready to do my internship. What are your thoughts about me coming there? and I'll let him talk in detail about that. But as part of his internship, we set aside 1 day a week where he would work with me on the business to get to know, okay, here's kind of the nuances of the business, here's things you need to know, you need to be working on, you need to be looking at. And as part of that, we started working through step by step, here's what you need to be doing. He knew he wanted to be in Superior. That was the one certainty that he had. And then we started working on that process, which led us up here. Mm-hmm. Him and I in my car, parking on the street, looking for opportunities. Mm-hmm. And I'll let, before I get too far in the story, I'll let Dr. Zimmer talk about that too.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, so the internship actually came about because of COVID. For our last trimester, so chiropractic school is 10 trimesters. Your 10th trimester is out in any clinic that you choose, anywhere in the world. And so in March of 2020, I had a couple of shadows lined up to go visit some clinics that I was interested in shadowing. I knew that Dr. Tozer and Robyn were in Ladysmith, and that I could always ask them questions and throughout my experience. So I was looking at getting information from other sources so I could have as much knowledge as I had going forward into practice. Then we all know that COVID hit in March, and I started calling all these places that I had shadows lined up for the next month, and all of them were like, we're not letting anybody who's not a patient or an employee come into these clinics. So I was like, okay, we'll wait it out and we'll see what happens, because I've got until June. Fast forward, we all know what happened, and so it's getting closer to June, and I have no opportunity to shadow, and I don't want to go into a clinic that I haven't had a chance to see what they do and how they function. So I reached out to Robyn and I was like, you know me, you know how I function, you know a lot of chiropractors, can you help me find something so that I can finish my education? And that's when we discussed the opportunity for me to come back to Ladysmith, which I jumped on immediately because it was the perfect opportunity for me to go forward and go into a comfortable place in such a trying and changing time in my life and everybody's life. So going into a comfortable place with also knowing that I'm going to get really good experience was comforting, but also exciting and rewarding at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And just to backtrack a little bit, so you knew that you wanted to be in Superior because you have ties to the area, right?
Yes, so
okay.
I did my undergrad at UW Superior. I graduated with my bachelor's in 2017 before I went on to chiropractic school. And so I have a bunch of connections at the university, plus a lot of my friends after they went on to further their education, they all came back here as well. So a lot of ties that I had to this area, and then just the beautiful location. I couldn't beat that opportunity. So
yeah,
best of everything, and just knew that this is where I was going to end up.
Awesome.
And so it sounds like the relationships that you made earlier on in your career is what brought you here. How do you figure out what relationships and what they mean to you in business?
You just make the relationships and it'll happen. Like that's my biggest thing that I've learned through this whole process is just get to know as many people as you can, because the people that are going to help you are going to always be there, and you can lean on them when you need them. And then the people who are just there to kind of go along with the ride and support you and cheer you on, you figure out who knows what you need to know and who to rely on. There's not really a game plan to it. It's just you do it and things will happen as you go.
Mm-hmm.
well, and don't you think, I guess my philosophy has always been, like, people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And how do you create that? It's relationships.
Absolutely.
So you've got to just start putting yourself out there, talking to people. Some people you click with, some you don't. You move on to the next one. And that's not specific to any industry.
Right.
It's just business and part of just being an adult.
Yeah.
Right?
And a human being. I mean, people crave that kind of thing. They,
Yeah.
they want to have connections with people. And look, just based on the fact that you one time got in a car accident, that is really kind of what stemmed all of this. When you went into, get chiropractic care, you met Dr. Tozer and Robyn, and through the years that relationship blossomed, and boom, here we are.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And you met Alex at a networking event, and here we are.
Yeah. All relationship, all leads back to it. So of course, opening a business is no easy task. especially a brand new chiropractic clinic, especially amidst a pandemic. So what have been some of the big struggles? What are some of the tough parts of opening a chiropractic clinic in 2021?
A lot. I mean, I always tell people I don't ever want to be the Debbie Downer, because I think owning a business is the most amazing thing you can ever do. It is so freeing and empowering, but it also is fearful, because there is nobody, if you make the wrong decision, it's on you.
Yep.
There is no passing the buck on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to be
chin.
Yeah, exactly, and it can be tough on the heart and the ego and the mind sometimes, a lot of times. But I think in the middle of a pandemic, we're all just trying to figure everything out, and and still it's very confusing on, okay, what can we do? What should we be doing? What am I supposed to be doing? What rules am I supposed to be following? So that was definitely a challenge, not knowing about what if we move forward with this, and at that time we were determining who's essential, who's not. What if they determine we're not essential and we can't even open before we open? If we're closed before we even open. So that was definitely a struggle, but with COVID also brought great opportunity, because there were a lot of businesses closing. We knew it would be, I always told everybody, this is either going to be the greatest decision I've ever made or the dumbest. There's going to be no in
Roll the
between
dice.
for this. But opening or expanding during COVID could be good. And I have found that it's been good, but it's not come without a lot of challenge.
Yeah.
A lot of challenge.
There's a saying, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. So
Yes.
it sounds like you guys took on the challenge.
Yes. Yep.
What about you, Dr. Zimmer? Can you think of a specific thing that has been just the tough part?
Yeah, Robyn probably knows my answer too, but it's just the scheduling. We work long hours, and so there's a lot of time in my day. And at the beginning, when we're starting from scratch, there's not enough patients to fill all that time. And when a patient drops off, my time that I had booked now becomes even more ominous, because knowing that we're starting from scratch and we built this clinic from nothing means that every patient counts, and so I'm hyper aware of every single patient that is in my schedule, and when they drop out, that's really hard on me, because all I want to do is help people, and I can't help them if they're not coming through the doors. And then I also know on the back end that I can't run a business if I don't have patients, and so it's a very slippery slope. When you start going down that rabbit hole, you just keep going. And just the other week I called Robyn, was just having a moment of I just need somebody to turn my head around, because this and this happened,
there's a
and
lot going on. Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed, and I know that I'm overthinking it, and I just need somebody to help ground me. And so I've got a lot of things in place to help me through those hard times, but that's probably the biggest thing, especially being up here by myself.
Yep.
Is if I don't reach out, nobody knows that I'm going through that, because I can just sit behind my desk and have this breakdown by myself and nobody would know. But
there's a lot of factors and a lot of stressors that are playing in every single day on you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the things that I remember that was really interesting when we had first sat down is you talked about kind of deviating from the norm as far as your hours. You guys open at 6 a.m. right?
6:30.
Sorry, 6:30. Excuse me. And you're only not that one. Yeah. And you're open until 6 p.m. So that I mean that's a 12-hour day when the norm I think is maybe the 8 to 5 with the in chiropractics there's a break in the middle of the day, but especially as a new business, right? You have to be here when the patients need you, which could be at any time.
Right.
So just having that open availability and being able to work those long hours, I think that's a huge benefit to you guys.
Yeah, and I think when you're looking at from the business side, when you're looking at your business, what need are you trying to meet? Would we love to work 9 to 5? Yes, most people would. But depending upon what it is that you do, is that when people want to come see you?
Right.
No, people don't. We know through experience, because we've done this before. Mm-hmm. People do not, including myself. I don't want to use I don't want to have to leave work to go to the dentist, to do any of those things. That
Yeah.
I want to know.
Just adds friction to the process.
Exactly. So it's like we need to make it easy and convenient for people because we take care of people.
Right.
So we don't have an online business where it can just
Right.
run 24/7.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
In
Nope.
addition to making convenient hours, what else do you guys do to grow a brand new chiropractic business or grow on your business franchise?
yeah. One of our internal rules is that when we go into community, we have to be actively involved in the community. People need to see that we are not just in this as a business, but we are here to be active parts of a community where people can get to know us and ultimately we get to know them and the community in general. So that is definitely one thing that's very important to us. We hang our hat on the fact that we have heard their consistency over time. We've heard that we are very thorough. So we are not your one-stop shop where you're going to come in and just get cracked and walked out the door. Now, we
Yeah.
will help anybody. We
Yeah.
will literally help anybody. And the patient ultimately gets to decide how they want to manage, how they want to handle their care.
Yep.
But they get a thorough exam, x-rays, an adjustment. We need to make sure we know what we're dealing with. So in exchange for that, we often hear that we're thorough. So we take that and run with that.
Yep.
So.
And it's building the connections. So I capitalized on all of my connections that I had here with the university. I've given a couple talks at the university already, and I'm engaged in the chamber and an active member of the Rotary Club of Superior. So really investing a lot of time outside of the clinic into the community to make sure that I am present not only in the clinic but everywhere.
Right. People, they want to, any kind of healthcare is kind of an intimate subject. It's not,
Yes.
people
Yeah.
don't just walk around talking about their chronic pain,
Yes.
right? So they have to get to know you, they have to
Yeah.
trust you
Yes.
before they're going to come in and
Right.
seek care from you. So just, being present and having people kind of know you and get to know your personality is really what's going to help grow the business. So obviously we're still here, right? So the business is doing well so far.
They haven't turned the lights off.
What have been with Imperium in Superior specifically? What have been some of the biggest successes or some of the things that were just really inspiring for you guys?
Something to pat yourself on the back about.
Yeah.
Well, I can think of a few. I would say one of the things that has probably moved me the most is from day one, from every person that we met, they're like, yes, come to Superior. We would love to have you here. How can we work with you? What do you need? You need to know this person. Have you met this one? Get in contact. Here's their number. I'll call them now. And it was just like everybody.
The support.
The support was, I couldn't have ever dreamed it would be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just the ability to help people. I mean, just to be able to help people in need and who are, a majority of our patients come to us in pain. And anybody who's dealt with pain knows that you cannot live that way for long periods of time. It's grueling. So just to be able to be part of helping, and if we can't help, pointing them in the right direction on somebody who can, is just that it never gets old. That part just never gets old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I think the really success for me is when I get referrals, especially family members of patients that come in, because I'm like, yes, this person's getting relief, but now you know that they really value it because they're sharing it with the people the closest people to them, and telling them, yes, go see this person. And I'm like, that's rewarding for me because I'm able to know, like, yes, I know I'm doing a good job because they're getting better,
they have
but
enough
now
trust
they're
in
giving me,
Yeah.
they're sending me their most trusted and valued people in their lives, and that's very rewarding.
Right. It means a lot when somebody's grandma comes to you and
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I heard about this from so and so."
Yeah.
Means a lot.
Yeah, any referral is nice, but the family ones really hit home for me because I don't know why it's a little different for some reason, whatever reason, but any referral is really wonderful because you know that the people are talking about you and and it's a good thing, which is
Right.
always
In a positive way.
Right.
Very reaffirming.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I'm sure it feels good too. You get to see people from the beginning of their journey, through that, and that you're helping them and helping relieve pain or fix, any issues that they come in for. So that's got to be cool too. I mean, I'm sure that's really rewarding to watch them through that journey.
And every person is different, which makes it interesting coming into practice every day, because I've worked on anybody from a 10-year-old all the way up to 74, 80 years old. And obviously that's a wide span,
Right.
and they're going to have very different problems, and different response times as well. And so it's
Right.
always fun for me to come into clinic. I don't get bored here. That is one thing that I can say.
So what does a day-to-day operation here look like for you then?
Well, I come in, get everything opened up and situated so
At
before we
6:30.
open, before 6:30,
Or
so that I'm
that's-
ready to go, because my first patient can come in at 6:30, and so the doors are open, the lights are on, everything is set up ready to go before my first patient at 6:30 would come in through the door. And then it's treating patients, doing paperwork, writing my notes, following up with emails, planning events, communicating with the other clinics to make sure that anything that I need from them can be done. We can schedule that and organize that so that I'm calling them at an ideal time, or we're coordinating different, because the insurance and billing person is in Ladysmith, so if I have questions, just constant communication with everybody to make sure that things are running smoothly and getting done on time is the big one, besides seeing patients. So patients is the majority of it, or a good
That's the
chunk
most
of it.
important thing. But yeah,
Right.
there are a lot of back end things that the patients that are coming in here don't get a chance to see.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts in healthcare, and I always tell everybody, our front end staff, they make it look so easy, and that's by design. But there are a lot of moving parts. We accept insurance, almost all insurances, and if we are not on the plan, we look into it. We've learned over the years that if people are paying just exorbitant amounts of money for insurance, and a lot of times they want to use it, and that comes with federal regulations and state regulations, which equates to a lot of paperwork, a lot of documentation, which we know that going into. So there's a lot of back end things that are happening on a day-to-day basis.
And constantly learning everything,
Constantly
and being
learning.
open to learning. 'Cause
Yes.
Yeah.
if you're not, you're gonna be struggling pretty quick.
Well, and you have to adapt to challenges that come
Yeah.
up. Obviously, I mean, COVID is a huge one for a lot of people. So things come up, and you have to learn and be able to pivot and be ready for those things. So
Yes.
that's really crucial. So you guys have been at this for a while. What advice would you have for somebody who was looking to go into a similar field? Or what things have you learned along the way that maybe you would have told yourself before?
The biggest thing for me is finding a mentor in the field that you want to be in, and utilizing them and leaning on them, because once I knew that I was interested in chiropractic, I was constantly talking to Dr. Tozer, asking questions. Where do I need to go to school? Does it matter what I'm majoring in? Does it matter which school I'm going to? And that was just for what classes should I be taking, and where should I be focusing my attention? And then once you get through undergrad, chiropractic schools, what are my options? Where should I be going? What advice do you have? And then continuing on through getting into practice and internships, just having somebody that's been through it that you can ask those questions and get that knowledge and have that support going through is going to be the biggest benefit, especially for chiropractic itself, because all chiropractic businesses are owned by the individual most of the time, I would say. Is that incorrect?
There's some
Okay.
there's some
There's
of
a fair
both, of
amount.
course, but
Right.
and having somebody to ask questions to, and have somebody who has experience, who may have gone through some of the same things, maybe made some mistakes and learned from them, or
Right.
has things that they've figured out along the way. That's a huge help to you.
Right.
And you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't ask, there isn't a way
Exactly.
you could find out until you...
Right.
Right.
Also, the importance of having a mentor or somebody to go to and say, hey, am I on the right track here? Somebody to set you straight. So I think it's important too that you continue to always move forward because it gets bumpy. And it's easy to pull back and say, I knew it. I knew this wasn't going to work. I should have never wasted the time. You have to keep moving forward, as gritty as it gets. And then knowing who to reach out to when it is tough and to say, what do I do? I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to be doing or how I'm supposed to be doing it. But that requires having thick skin and constant thirst for wanting to learn. You can't, I think when you get to the point, especially with chiropractors out of school, a lot of times we hear, I just can't wait to graduate, and then it's like once I get past that hurdle, everything's going to be good. It's like, yes, you're
That's
past
the
that.
real world. Then the race
tutorial's
starts.
over.
Yeah.
Right.
Then the blinders come off.
Yeah. And now there's a new hurdle, and once you maneuver through that one, there'll be another new one. So just learning how to deal with challenge and how to figure things out.
Yeah, innovation. Just being ready to go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
roll with the punches.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you guys have shared a lot of interesting stuff with us today. Is there anything that you want to highlight about this location or the business or chiropractic in general?
Go ahead and give yourself a plug.
Yeah. Elevator pitch.
So, I guess if your viewers want to learn more, they can go to our website at imperiumchiropractic.com. They can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Even if they have questions, one of the things that we get from a lot of people is they may just have questions like, okay, I have this thing. Will chiropractic help with that? They absolutely can set up a time. We'll put them in the schedule. There's no charge. There's nothing. They can come in, talk to the doctor. And if they say, yeah, this is not something chiropractic can help with, but I think you would benefit from this,
Yeah.
we will do that. If there's questions about, well, what is it going to cost? We will verify your insurance. We'll look into it for you so they can make a financial decision because that is a major driver in healthcare decision making. We're located in the Central Flats building in Superior, and apparently everybody knows where this building is.
And there's a
Kinda hard
big
to
bright
miss.
green sign out front. You can't miss it.
Right.
And we're always accepting new patients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With my schedule right now, it's within a day or so we can get people in.
We'll get people in same day. I mean, at this point, we can get
Yeah.
people in same day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Which I've heard a lot of other chiropractors have stopped accepting patients. So that's huge.
Yeah,
for you
we will.
guys.
Okay. Documented. We will never stop accepting patients.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
You have to be willing to help.
Yeah.
Yes.
My doors are always open. Walk in, let's have a conversation. We'll figure it out.
Awesome. Well, hey, we really appreciate you guys sitting down
Thank
and
you.
explaining.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you so much.
We're gonna make this fun.